I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it is time for a review tonight, self-titled Tonight EP. Tonight is the collaborative project of two up-and-coming electronic music producers from the UK, Hudson Mohawk and Lunice. I am much more familiar with the former than the latter. And the 5 tracks on this EP are pretty much a mixture of, I want to say, trap, rap style, hip-hop instrumentals combined with some pretty recent strains of electronic dance music, including future garage and dubstep. And these styles are mixed together with the kind of unapologetic audacity that you would expect from somebody who is producing music like far into the future. This EP really has no sense of, oh, these things are separate, they should be separated, they're different. And that's part of the reason I love the internet, because when a new sound or style kind of comes out of the blue, comes out of nowhere, before it even really gets a complete chance to really root itself into a single geographical area or culture, everybody around the world is experimenting with it. And really weird fusions and experiments can happen and turn into snowballing trends before people or critics really get the opportunity to stomp out the fire and start wagging their fingers, screaming, "Gimmick! Gimmick! This is a gimmick!" So this is a pretty short EP. It is 5 tracks, one after another. It's just straight bangers. Bangers. Bangers! When I say the beats on this EP bang, I mean it. This is probably going to be the most hyped up 2012 bass music you've heard. There's not a single song on this EP that I could sit through sitting still. To go back to the musical influences on this thing, the trap rap hip-hop style is definitely the most prominent of all of them. You do get the kinds of build-ups and drops that you would expect from like a Waka Flocka Flame beat or something like that. You get those rattling hi-hats and snare drums that are just relentless at some points on this thing. But some of the drops on this EP do have kind of a dubstep flavor to them, and a few tracks on here kind of feature the very relentless vocal sample repetitions that you would expect more from an electronic music production coming from the UK, which of course is rooted back in Juke and Ghetto House. If I have to have the lineage spelled out for me one more time, I'm gonna throw up in my mouth and have to swallow it, because throwing up on camera is gross. But on the track Higher Ground, I really love how the vocal repetitions on that track are executed. They are just so unrelenting. It may be the most obnoxious thing you have ever heard for some people, but for me it just really adds to the energy of the track. Reaching for, reaching for, reaching for, down, down. And the bass kicks on this track and others on this EP have very bold and clear hip-hop style to them as well. The low end on this EP is stellar. You are doing yourself no favors by listening to this through like some earbuds or just laptop speakers. Get a system. You will most likely be able to pull out the influences that build the songs on this EP very easily. What makes these guys different from other producers working with similar hybrids is how zany and just insane the colors and samples and textures are that these guys work with on this EP. This is almost like psychedelic, neon-colored trap rap instrumentals. The track BUGG'N has some really hard beats, but they are slathered in reverb, and there are like samples of this baby playing throughout the track going, there are all these bubbles popping in the beat too. Of course the synths are really weird. There are all sorts of heavy synthesizers on the track Higher Ground too that I like a lot that sound like farty horns. And the track Easy Easy has a load of weird crap mixed into the beat. One sample kind of sounds like a car crashing, which is played over and over. I kind of hear a gun cocking. These high-pitched vocal samples that sort of interject occasionally going, yeah. There are a lot of strange textures and samples on this EP, but Hudson Mohawk and Lunice just take these sounds and they chop them, loop them, manipulate them with such attention to detail. How could the production chops on this EP not be recognized? These tracks on this EP really do kind of appeal to those two sides of my brain, and I love music like that really not only just makes me react emotionally very quickly, but I can also just sit back and think, oh, derp, derp, derp. And there is a nice range of variation between these 5 tracks as well, not only in terms of mood, but in terms of just, I guess, style and sound. Some tracks rely more on vocal samples, others just the beat and some synthesizers. There are moments like the first track that are pretty atmospheric and kind of moody, while others are very playful, flamboyant, experimental, and just all around engaging. Though this EP is short, to me, it is very satisfying. I wish the first track were longer, but that's really the only major issue I have with it. I personally think it is very awesome and refreshing to hear electronic music like this that takes on such a heavy hip-hop influence and is so well produced, but does not take itself too seriously. It's just this really fun and catchy brand of neon colored aggression that I like a lot. I'm feeling a light to decent 9 on this EP. What do you think of it if you have heard it? Love it? Hate it? Why? Let me know. Remember, the good comment, the great rate, and only the strong subscribe. Tonight, self-titled EP, Forever.